So section 4.4, it's talking about quadratic formula, and here's a few questions from your assignment that I'm just going to go over with you here real quick. So number 1 says use the discriminant. Okay, we talked about the discriminant. That gives us it tells us about the nature of the roots, and the discriminant is over here. It's b squared minus 4ac. So it comes from the quadratic equation, or the quadratic formula. It's the part that's underneath the root sign here. Okay, that's the discriminant. And so we're just simply going to do b squared, so that's negative 7 squared for a here, minus 4 times a is 1, times c is 4. We're going to evaluate this, so 49 minus 16, that's going to be 33. It is a positive number. That's all that's important here. And so the nature of the roots for a, there will be 2 distinct, that means they're going to be different, real roots. Okay? So how many? Are they the same or different? And are they real or not? And this is what you need to write down for now. And again, that's in your text. It shows no intercepts, real roots, 2 identical roots, or whatever. So that's all there. Let's go over to number 2. Question number 2 says, without graphing, determine the number of zeros for each function. So the number of zeros, the discriminant would tell you that as well. So again, if b squared minus 4ac is a positive number, there's 2. If it's 0, there's 1. And if it's negative, there's none. So for 2a, b is negative 2, so squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 14. So this is going to be positive 4 minus, what's that, 56? Oh, minus a negative 56. So that's going to be, what's that, 60. That's positive 60 minus a negative. So there's going to be, for a, there's going to be 2 roots. Okay? And if you did the same thing for b, so b squared, 0.06 squared, minus 4 times negative 3 times 4. So this is going to be a really small number. 0.06 times 0.06 is 0.036, I guess. And this is going to be minus a negative. So that's going to be plus 12 times 4, 48. So that's going to be a positive number as well. And there's going to be 2 roots here. That's all you need to know. Okay? So that's for B. Stop me if you have any questions as I go through this, but let's just hit number 3 here. Use the quadratic formula to solve each quadratic equation. Express your answers as exact roots. Okay, very important question. Quadratic equation, x equals negative b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Little jingle there, that'll help you remember that. And so, x equals negative b, which is 24, plus or minus root 24 squared minus 4 times 7 times 9 all over 2 times 7. And when you evaluate that, this is going to give you the roots. And if you don't turn it into a decimal, then you're going to get the exact root. So let me just show you that. Negative 24 plus or minus 24 squared minus 4 times 7 times 9. It's going to be 324. Root 324 over 14. So is 324 a perfect square? Well, let's check. The square root of 324, is 18. Perfect. So that's negative 24 plus or minus 18 over 14. So x is going to equal negative 24 plus 18. What's that for? Negative 6 over 14, or negative 3 over 7. And x equals negative 24 minus 18 is 42. Negative 42 over 14, which is going to be negative, what's that, divided by 7, 6 over 2, 3. Okay, so negative 3. You have to check that work. But that's how you use the quadratic formula. And fractions and whole numbers or integers are exact. So use in your answer, you may have radicals as part of your answer. Don't change that to a decimal and you'll have an exact answer. Finally, number 4, let's use the quadratic formula again. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c over 2 times a. And there's going to be 2 answers here, and you're going to put that in your calculator. It's going to look something like this. So I would probably tend to do this first, this square root. Let's do square root, and you can have your answer to 100th, so you don't have to be exact. You just plug it in your calculator. So 14 squared minus, and I'm going to do all this here, 4 times 3 times 5, all inside the brackets there. What do we get there? 11.66. So I'm going to rewrite that. All over 6. And then you get the calculator to take the rest here. So let's try negative 14. Let's do plus 11.66 equals divided by 6 is negative 0.39. And we'll try the other one. Negative 14 minus 11.66 equals divided by 6 equals negative 4.28. Okay, so it looks like those would be your 2 answers for 4A, and we'll check that. Okay, so those answers are checking out. Let's do the last one here, 4C. I'll do that in different colors so we can separate that. Now, here's the thing with 4C. You're going to have to put everything over to one side so that we get the right signs for B and C. So this is 0.2 m squared plus 0.3 m minus 0.1 equals 0. You have to have it in that form. So x equals negative b is negative 0.3 plus or minus the square root of 0.3 squared minus 4 times 0.2 times negative 0.1 all over 2 times 0.2. So you can plug that into your calculator and get an answer, and I'll just give you the answers here. Okay, so this is actually number 5C in your assignments, and the answers, once you put this into your calculator, if you get the right answer, it should be negative 1.78 as one answer and 0.28 as the other. So there's some selected questions from 1 to 5, and hopefully that helps a little bit to get you started on your assignment from 4.4. Anybody have any questions here about 1 to 5?